Drivers say the same thing every time. It's late, the highway is empty, and the yellow streetlights on Archer Avenue flicker like dying candles. Then they see her. A pale young woman in a white dress, standing alone on the roadside as if she stepped out of another century. She lifts her hand slowly, asking for a ride. She speaks softly, almost too softly, like her voice is coming from a distant room. She gives an address. She says she needs to go home. You drive her through the night, feeling the strange cold radiating from her seat, even with the heater on. You turn toward the cemetery gate like she asked, and before the car even comes to a full stop, she's gone, door still locked. No sound, no trace. And that road on the edge of Chicago has collected hundreds of these stories, from people who never met, never spoke, and swear they're telling the truth. Tonight, we're following the footsteps of Chicago's most famous disappearing passenger. Resurrection, Mary the ghost who never leaves Archer Avenue. If you grew up around Chicago, you don't just know the name, you avoid the road. Archer Avenue, ice and tea, the kind of place you wander around at night unless you're re-looking for trouble or unless you're looking for her. The legend of Resurrection Mary isn't just a ghost story people tell children to scare them. This one comes from real drivers, bartenders, musicians, and night shift workers who had nothing to gain from inventing a tale. People who picked her up, people who saw her vanish, people who swear that for a few terrifying minutes they were not alone. Is that Mary isn't trapped inside an old house, a hotel, or some abandoned asylum. She's out there in the open, on the same road you could drive today. All it takes is one wrong turn after midnight, and you're in the middle of her territory. And once you're there, the road feels different. The quiet feels heavier. And you understand why locals still talk about her like she's alive. The story begins in the early 1930s when a young woman dressed for a night out was seen walking along Archer Avenue near Resurrection Cemetery. She looked lost, confused, barefoot, as if she had run out of somewhere without thinking. Drivers would slow down, concerned, and she would ask for a ride. She always said she was heading home, always polite, always distant, and always, without fail, she vanished at the gates of the cemetery like a drop of rain evaporating on hot pavement. At first, people dismissed it. A drunk girl wandering around, maybe someone playing tricks. But the reports kept coming. Different drivers, different nights. Same exact description. A pale girl with light blonde hair and a white dress, hands folded politely on her lap. A sadness in her eyes, so heavy it felt real. Too real. Then came the night that sealed the legend. A man known as Jarvis had a habit of visiting dance halls after work. He wasn't expecting anything unusual, but that night he met her, not on the road, inside the ballroom, alive, breathing, dancing. She told him her name was Mary. They danced for hours. Her touch was cold, but he assumed she was shy. After midnight, she said she needed to go home. He offered her a ride. She pointed toward Archer Avenue. The closer they got, the quieter she became. Her posture changed. Her eyes became distant, almost hollow, and when the car slowed near the cemetery, she vanished, not dramatically, not with special effects. 1 second she was there. The next, she simply wasn't. Jarvis didn't sleep for days. When he finally gathered the courage to visit the address she'd given him, he found her parents older, tired people who looked like they'd lived through a lifetime of grief. They showed him a picture, and yes, it was her, Mary, their daughter. But Mary had been dead for years, killed in a car accident on Archer Avenue. Stories like these don't survive 90 years without a reason, especially in a city like Chicago, where myths are either proven dead or swallowed by new ones. But Resurrection Mary keeps resurfacing. The sightings stretch across decades. Cab drivers, police officers, late-night truckers, they all describe the same girl. Same dress, same sad stare. Some say she leaves cold air pockets in their cars. Some say she doesn't speak at all. Others say she hums quietly, like a song from an era that's gone. The most disturbing sightings always happen near the cemetery gates. Locals swear they've seen her holding the bars, her ghostly fingers wrapped around the iron, as if she's trying to pull herself out. There was even a night when cemetery workers found burn-like handprints on the gate shapes that looked like fingers pressed against metal. People argued about it. Some called it vandalism. Others said no human hand could have burned through that paint in a single night. One witness described her standing on the side of the road, holding her shoes in her hand, staring into the distance like she was waiting for someone. Another driver said she ran right in front of his car, and when he got out, panicking, she was gone. Not a sound, not a footprint, just the echo of his own breath. The weirdest part, Mary never hurts anyone. She doesn't attack, scream, or chase. She just exists. A lost fragment of a life cut short. A loop caught between the moment she died and the place she can't leave. There's something about that sadness that makes the story even creepier. Evil entities are expected. Violent spirits are common in horror. But a lonely ghost, still trying to go home, still walking the same road 90 years later, there's something more chilling about that. Some believe she waits for the driver who hit her. A few even say she's looking for someone specific, and she hasn't found them yet. Chicago locals will tell you they don't care what scientists say. Those streets are haunted. The cold spots don't lie. The sightings don't stop. And if you ever decide to drive Archer Avenue alone after midnight, don't be surprised if you see a girl in white standing under the streetlights. Don't be surprised if she raises her hand, asking for a ride. And if you're brave or stupid enough to let her in, remember one thing: she never makes it home. Every city has ghost stories, and as heartbreakingly real as Resurrection Mary, maybe she's a trapped soul. Maybe she's a memory replaying itself. Or maybe, just maybe, she's something far older than the girl who died that night. Something that found a story convenient enough to hide behind. Whatever the truth is, the only way to really understand this legend is to see Archer Avenue for yourself. Just don't go alone. And if you want more stories like this, real urban legends, chilling encounters, and atmospheric deep dives, then do one thing before you leave: hit subscribe. But not like everyone else tells you. Do it as a test. If your lights flicker when you press it, if your phone feels a little colder, then maybe Mary passed by while you watched this. Maybe she's closer to your screen than you think. Subscribe, and let's see who shows up next.